Before Battlestar Galactica had finished its run, another science fiction property was being revived for television. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century was released theatrically in March 1979 and then on television in September that same year. This series lasted only 2 seasons, but won the hearts of many fans. In this video, we are going to look at 10 amazing facts about the Gold Key Buck Rogers in the 25th Century adaptation. Please like and subscribe so I can continue to bring you content like this one. On with the countdown. Number 10. The adaptation begins in issue number 2 of the comic series. Buck Rogers' contribution to science fiction adventure stories and pop culture cannot be overstated. Created by Philip Francis Nolan, the character first appeared in newspaper comic strips on January 7, 1929, 5 years before Flash Gordon by Alex Raymond debuted. George Lucas first tried to secure the rights to a Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers movie before deciding to create his own space adventure, Star Wars. The long-running newspaper strip ended in 1967. During that time, many publishers printed Buck Rogers comic books, and Gold Key Comics printed Buck Rogers in the 25th Century #1 in October 1964. When Gold Key adapted the Buck Rogers movie, they continued the numbering, and the movie adaptation appears in issue number 2 through 4 from July through October 1979. The comic series based on the television show was published under both the Gold Key and Whitman imprint and ran until issue number 16 in May 1982. Curiously, the Gold Key imprint stopped publishing issues with issue number 6, and no issue number 10 was published for this series. In addition to the standard comics, the adaptation was printed in a large magazine-sized edition by both Whitman and Marvel Comics. Number 9. The Draconian Marauders look different. The Draconians are a powerful intergalactic empire that controls 3/4 of the known galaxy. The Earth Defense Directorate has turned to them to help protect their supply lines from pirate ships, and in return, the Draconians will be granted access to a base on Earth to operate from. The Earth Defense has placed the stipulation that all Draconian spacecraft that use the base must be unarmed. When the movie begins, the flagship Draconia, led by Princess Ardala and Commander Kane, is traveling to Earth to sign the trade agreement. Of course, the pirates are really the Draconians, a ruse used to gain Earth's trust so the Draconians can invade the planet. The Draconian Marauders, along with Earth Defense's Thunder Fighters, have an iconic design which is easily recognizable to fans of the series. The ship is shown firing on and capturing Buck Rogers' Ranger 3 and are shown later when Colonel Wilma Deering takes a force up to the Draconia to prove Buck Rogers' story about being on the flagship. Additionally, Buck sabotages several of the fighters towards the end of the pilot when Ardala orders a full-out attack on Earth. The Marauders are both Draconian and the pirate ships. In the comic, these ships have a completely different look. They look less like their nickname, the Hatchet Fighter, and more like stubby rockets. The Thunder Fighters look like their live-action counterpart, however. Another spacecraft is also depicted differently in the comic. Number 8. Ranger 3 does not look like a space shuttle. In the pilot episode, Buck Rogers is piloting the Ranger 3. A spacecraft that looks very similar to the space shuttle flown by NASA from 1981 to 2011. In the comic, the spacecraft looks completely different. The television pilot and comic both show NASA launching a rocket, and it is unclear in the television series where Rogers' spacecraft is located on the rocket, although the movie mentions it's at the top. In the comic, Buck's spacecraft is clearly shown at the top of the rocket, which undoubtedly influenced its design. Buck Rogers' spacecraft was launched in 1987, but sadly, NASA did not fly any space shuttles that year due to the Challenger disaster on January 28, 1986. The television series intro is vague on why Buck Rogers' ship is blown out of its trajectory. In the comic, the ship is struck by a meteorite shower which sends the ship off course. In the pilot, Buck Rogers does not have a beard when his ship is brought aboard the flagship Draconia. In the comic book, he has a full beard when he first arrives on the Draconian spacecraft, but it is gone the next day after he is given medication for his headache and sleeps. Buck's beard is not the only difference we see on his first visit to the Draconia. Number 7. Princess Ardala's wardrobe is different. In the television series, Princess Ardala is wearing a red outfit when she is first shown. In the comic book, she is scantily clad wearing the costume that has the hat with horns which she wears in the pilot when she leads the Draconian trade delegation down to the inner city. In the comic, when she arrives at the peace gathering, she is in another costume entirely that was never shown in the series. In the pilot, when Colonel Wilma Deering visits the Draconia, Ardala is wearing another skimpy outfit with a high collar and ornate tiara, but in the comic, she is wearing another costume entirely with a turban. Like the outfit she wore on Earth, this costume was never seen in the television series. Both of these comic book only outfits look inspired by costumes worn by women in the old Flash Gordon newspaper strips. Number 6. The Draconians plant a bomb on Ranger 3. In the story, the Draconians think Buck Rogers is spying for Earth and the Earth Defense Directorate thinks Buck is working for the pirates. Buck is suspicious of the Draconians and tries convincing the Earth Defense Forces they are up to no good. In the pilot, Commander Kane places a transponder aboard the Ranger 3, which he plans to use to map a route through the Earth's defense shield. Later, Wilma Deering rescues Buck, the quad Doctor Theopolis, and the drone Twiki in the wasteland of Anarchia. When Wilma returns to the inner city, Dr. Hewer tells her that they discovered the transponder on Buck Rogers' ship, confirming Wilma's suspicion that Buck is working for the pirates just as she was beginning to trust him. In the comic, as soon as Buck Rogers is brought to the inner city, it is revealed that a bomb is concealed on his spacecraft. Wilma explains the bomb was set to trigger when the Earth's atmosphere entered his ship, but they detected it in time while the ship was in decontamination. Buck knows the Draconians planted the bomb and he even tries to blame Princess Ardala, but this raises Wilma's suspicions about Buck. In the comic, Buck's ship has a transponder placed on it as well, but it is discovered before he goes to Anarchia. The bomb was meant to dispose of both Buck Rogers and the transponder. Now that Earth knows about the transponder, they change the route through the defense shield, thwarting Commander Kane's plans. Number 5. Colonel Wilma Deering shoots Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers is shot and stunned in the pilot and comic, but by a different person at a different time and for different reasons. In the pilot, Buck is shot by one of Colonel Wilma Deering's subordinates in Anarchia after he is rescued. Buck threatens to stay in Anarchia, but Wilma says they don't have time for this, and she motions for one of her soldiers to shoot him. In the television show and the comic, after Wilma takes Buck to see his ship, he questions why his craft was attacked but not destroyed. He again tells Wilma he thinks it was the Draconians, not pirates, that attacked his spacecraft. Wilma tells him this is impossible because the Draconians are unarmed. Buck tells her they should search the Draconia to verify this, and Wilma tells him that would only insult them. In the comic, Buck dismisses her concerns and says he is going outside the city to find out what happened to his family. Wilma orders him to stop and stuns him. Buck does learn what happened to his family, but how he gets to Anarchia is different between the pilot and the comic. Number 4. Buck Rogers is banished to Anarchia along with Doctor Theopolis. Anarchia is the name given to the wastelands that surrounds the inner city. It is the location of Old Chicago and is inhabited by mutants. Sometime after Buck left Earth, a Holocaust occurs and Earth is still recovering from the devastation. In the television pilot, Doctor Theopolis realizes Buck is adamant about visiting Anarchia to learn what happened to his family, and he agrees to help him. After Wilma rescues Buck in Anarchia, the transponder is discovered and he is put on trial. Dr. Theopolis defends him at the trial, but Buck is found guilty and sentenced to death. In the comic, the discovery of the transponder and the subsequent trial happens first. Buck is found guilty like in the pilot, but in the comic, he and Dr. Theopolis are banished from the inner city. They are exiled to Anarchia. It isn't clear why Doctor Theopolis is also banished, since all he did was defend Buck. In Anarchia, Buck does discover what happened to his family. Number 3. Buck discovers his parents', brother, and sister's grave. In the pilot, when Buck visits the inner city mall with Wilma, he tells her he lost his mother, father, a brother, sisters, and a woman he cared for. In the comic, he just mentions losing his mother, father, a brother, and a single sister. When he makes it to Anarchia, he finds a cemetery with the grave of his family. The stone has the name of his mother Edna, his father James, his brother Frank, and his sister Marilyn, but no dates. In the comic, these names are the same, and his other sister April is also marked on the gravestone. Interestingly, in the panel before this one, we see the gravestone of the popular mayor Richard Daley. In both versions, Doctor Theopolis explains only a few fortunate families were buried during the Holocaust as conditions deteriorated rapidly. The sequence in Anarchia is significantly different between the pilot and the comic. In the pilot, from the moment the mutants are introduced, they are communicating with each other by banging on metal objects, but this doesn't happen in the comic until after Buck has left the cemetery. Additionally, Buck does not physically fight the mutants in the comic, but instead sets a fire and then carries Twiki on his back and climbs a fire escape to evade the attackers. Wilma Deering arrives alone in a futuristic car to rescue Buck Rogers instead of a Land Rover with other soldiers. Number 2. Doctor Apol is a traitor. In the pilot, the only member of the Computer Council named is Doctor Theopolis. In the comic, the quad that leads the prosecution against Buck is called Doctor Apol, and a panel appears on the last page that also names another quad Dr. Graz. It is never explained in the pilot episode how the Draconians knew the defense tactics used by the computers on board the Thunderfighters. In the comic, Dr. Apol was programmed by Kane before he defected to the Draconian Empire. Dr. Apol not only promoted the treaty between Earth and the Draconians, but he also fed the enemy information about Earth's defenses, including the evasive tactics used by the Earth spacecraft. Dr. Apol's treason was dealt with by turning him off. Another character only briefly appears as a hologram in the movie, but has a much larger presence in the comic. Number 1. Draco has a larger presence. Draco, the ruler of the Draconians, is not shown in the pilot episode, but he does have a brief appearance as a hologram towards the end of the movie. In the pilot, he is mentioned several times, and Kane even threatens Princess Ardala that her father can replace her with one of his other 29 daughters. In the comic, he has a more substantial role. At the Palace of Mirrors, after the Draconians arrive on Earth, Princess Ardala presents her father, who appears via hologram. Draco addresses the Earth delegation and claims he is on his home planet, but we really know he is on his way to Earth with a large attack force. After the Draconians return to their flagship, Commander Kane speaks to Draco and their plans are finalized on how the invasion of Earth will unfold. The Draconia will attack Earth first, and then Draco will lead the main forces against the weakened Earth defenses. Kane then orders the crew to begin preparing their ships. After the Draconian plans go disastrously wrong, Commander Kane and Princess Ardala decides to abandon the Draconia. Before they leave, Kane reports to Draco that the attack was ordered prematurely by his daughter, and she will explain everything when they arrive in an escape pod. I would be remiss if I didn't mention how the comic depicted the fate of Princess Ardala's bodyguard, Tiger Man. In the movie, Tiger Man angrily fights Buck Rogers in the hangar on the Draconia after Buck humiliates him by placing him in bed with Princess Ardala. After Buck Rogers kicks him in the groin, he places a bomb on his back, and Tiger Man is incinerated by the explosion. In the pilot episode, they don't show Tiger Man being kicked in the groin, and he is not killed so he can appear later in the series. In the comic, Buck Rogers never confronts Tiger Man in the hangar. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button. If you would like to see more content like this one, please subscribe. And as always, leave a comment letting me know what you think.